plant-based fiber artist. Today we're going to cover how to thread a needle. We are going to be using a polyester thread today, which is great for sewing on buttons. It's a little stronger than a cotton thread. We're also going to need some scissors. I love these little snips because they can give me a nice clean edge when I'm trimming my thread. It is important to make sure when you pick a needle that you pick a needle with a big enough eye. Your thread needs to easily be able to fit through that hole because the needle is the one that's going to be doing most of the work. If your needle is too small and the eye is not poking a good size hole through your textile, your thread is going to wear out, which can be very frustrating. What we have right here is what we call a needle threader. It's great if your eyesight isn't 100%. Highly recommend getting one of these guys. They're very reasonable and they are certainly handy to have around. Let's get started talking about thread length. There's so many ideas in sewing that you are lazy if you use a long piece of thread. The saying is, long thread, lazy girl. I like to use a long thread, so maybe that does make me lazy. It really refers to the fact that your thread might get tangled if you use a really long piece. The other reason is that when you're pulling your thread through the textile, you're putting a lot of wear and tear on it. So making sure that your piece of thread is typically about from your fingertip all the way to your elbow tends to be a good length. Usually that is a little short of 18 inches. That is if you're sewing with a single thread, keep that in mind. If you are going to be sewing on a button, I tend to cut about a 36-inch length, which instead of being from your fingertips to your elbow, it'll probably be, if you're right-handed, from your right fingertips all the way over to your left shoulder. We are going to start by picking up our needle. With our eye, we are going to take our needle threader, which is a little piece of wire right there, and we are just going to thread it through our eye of the needle. Now, what that's creating is a larger eye for me to take my thread and place it through that. I am now going to pull about a 6-inch tail, taking my needle and pulling it off the needle threader, and in the process, removing my needle threader at the same time. Just like that, I've threaded my needle. The second technique I'm going to show you today is how to thread your needle without a needle threader. It's very important to make sure that your thread has a nice, crisp, clean cut. Without that, it'll make your life a lot harder. Being pinched with our pointer finger and our thumb, we are going to take our needle. Once covering the whole piece of thread, we are going to take our needle and place it right where we think that thread's going to be. The eye of the needle should line up right where the contact of your two fingers are. So when I open my fingers, the thread should almost pop up. So instead of threading a needle, we are going to needle the thread, in the sense of taking the needle and bringing it to the thread, opposed to the other way around. I'm going to place my needle on top of that thread, slowly opening my fingers, and the thread goes through. It's life-changing. A lot of people don't understand that the thread is the piece that's very bendable. To sit here and try to poke the needle like this, well, I've got a lot of practice, but the chances are slim that it's going to go through and the thread's going to want to bend. Just like that, we have learned a couple different ways to thread a needle. I guarantee you these techniques will make your needle threading experience a lot simpler.